Lovie Smith is gone, unfortunately. He is no longer the head coach of the Texans, but with that comes a vacancy, of which there are a few that we're looking at, and who knows what's more to come. Scott, who's your champion? Who is a person that you're like, head coach right here? Pick one.
I'll say this. I'm going to get to the point, but there's so many good candidates this year. I mean, I start with Brian Flores, Dan Quinn, Leslie Frazier, Sean Payton, who everyone's talking about. And everyone's talking about D'Amico Ryans. I love D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is smart. He's dedicated. He's smart and he's thoughtful, right? He relates very well with players, but he's not that player's coach that lets guys, he is a terrific football coach, a terrific football mind. The way he was raised from the beginning in college, he knows what a good program looks like. But one of the other guys I want to focus on is really David Shaw. No one's talking very much about David Shaw. Because here's the deal with David. We've all seen David prior to the draft. David knows players. If you have a head coach that is not only a good strategist and knows X's and O's and knows how to lead a football team, but knows personnel, David is great at personnel. I used to go out to Stanford every single year to spend time with David just to watch him coach and to listen to him, because he would tell you everything about the Pac-10 players when they were Pac-10 and the Pac-12 players. He also has a history of coaching in the NFL. He knows what the NFL is about. He understands the salary cap. David Shaw, to me, is a guy that I think isn't being talked about, but might be a guy that shows up. And I think the world of David.
He was in Oakland. He was in Baltimore.
Yep.
Here's my question, and I don't know if do you talk to him? The thought that I have is that for 5 years it was like David Shaw. He's like, I'm never leaving Palo Alto. I'm the happiest guy in the world. I'm not even going to listen to these offers. He steps away. Do you think there's an interest from David Shaw to get back into this thing?
I think there might be, because different times in life make you want to do different things.
Very cool.
There's stages and phases of life, and I did not talk to David about this. So this is. But I also think that
David hurt to pick up the phone, right?
Living in Palo Alto, when you're the coach at Stanford, let me tell you what, where you can have your children, the schools that you can have your children in, the community that you can have your children in, that is a special place. And David knew that, and David loved that community. I also think that he's young enough and he's respected enough. And remember, look at how well he did with a team at Stanford that would always have a limited roster compared to the other schools. He was able to win. I understand the last several years were tough.
No one's questioning David Shaw's
There's cycles.
credentials. Yeah.
Everyone has cycles. Everyone has cycles.